Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Tasteless back again with another banger. But before we get to the video today, I just want to ask you all to do me a huge favor and hit that like button if you do enjoy the video, as it helps with the algorithm. Make sure to hit subscribe as it helps me a ton. It makes my day, and don't be afraid to ask in the comments if you've got any questions. I will always be willing to answer. And with that, I hope you enjoy the video and let's get right into it. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about 5 tips to help you improve and make easier money in Tarkov. Now these tips I have followed, I have learned myself through the hours, countless hours of playing this game and the experience. And these are the most helpful tips in my opinion. And if you follow these tips, you will make money, you will improve. So yeah, let's get on with it. Also, I just want to point out this is aimed at newer players, less experienced players. Obviously, you chads out there with millions and millions of rubles, you know what to do. But if you are struggling for rubles, then do follow these tips. So the first tip we're going to talk about is slow down. What do I mean by slow down? Well, if you're watching a stream or something, you see him running around the map looking for PvP, looking for action, looking for content. This, however, should not be the case in your own gameplay. You should not be running around every single place looking for constant fights and this and that. The game is about loot. The game is about surviving. And if you're essentially not surviving because you're constantly running around the map, sprinting around the map, playing too fast, then you're obviously not going to make any rubles, are you? So basically, what I'm trying to say is slow down, loot spot for spot, take your time, transitioning through the map, do your quests slowly. There's no need to rush. A lot of quests, it doesn't matter what time of the raid you finish your quests at. There's not items that are just going to disappear. Sometimes there are. Sometimes there are. Unknown key, for example. You do want to kind of rush things like that. However, especially at this point of the wipe, it's just irrelevant. So if you are doing quests, take your time. There is no rush. Make sure you do transition your way through the map slowly. Play a good rotation of the map, trying not to overlap people, trying not to overlap spawns, stuff like that, or run through hot areas, like hot PvP areas. So yeah, do slow down. I can't stress that enough. I know that just sprinting around the map like an absolute monkey will get you killed often times, so do avoid that. And the next tip I want to talk about is upgrading your gear. This is really, really important. A lot of people have that mindset of going in with a budget loadout, budget gear, thinking, I can't spend or have the ability to spend those rubles on those extra or higher tier pieces of gear, armor, stuff like that. However, it is worth it in the long run if you think about it. Okay, running budget loadouts, you're running tier 4 armors, you're running tier 3 armors, you're running non-meta guns in the hopes that you have a lucky raid and survive. And if that's the case and you survive 1 out of 5 raids, but hey, you've run a budget loadout that's cost 100k, well, in 5 raids it's going to cost you 500k, which means you're going to have to make 500k back in that 1 raid you survived just to break even. That's what I mean by it, is putting you at a slight disadvantage by constantly running budget loadouts. If you do want to make money, you do want to try and invest in that higher tier, higher quality gear, meta guns, stuff like that, because that is going to be more worthwhile. That's going to increase the chances of your survival within Tarkov. So it's really, really important that you understand that. You understand that element. The difference between tier 5 armor and tier 3 armor is massive. It is huge, and yes, you will get unlucky. Sometimes you will die with higher meta gear 5 times in a row. It happens, but it happens a lot less when you're running that good armor. That's what I'm trying to get out there. What I'm trying to say, it's going to improve your survival rate drastically. It's going to improve your income in the long run drastically when it comes to rubles, because you're going to be surviving more raids. Yes, you are spending more rubles. However, it's like an investment. You've got to think about it as an investment, and it is definitely an investment that is worthwhile. It is a massive, massive difference in upgrading your gear. I would recommend running Giselles. I would recommend running Corans. At least tier 5 armors at this point in the wipe, every single raid, because it's really important. The lowest I go, and it's purely dependent on what I am currently doing, is I will pick up a TV rig, which is a tier 4 armor. However, it's got tons of space. It is great for doing loot runs, stuff like that. So you do got to think about what you're doing and what kind of armor, but I would not run those really crappy budget tier 4 rigs. They suck. And I definitely wouldn't run a tier 3 at this point in the wipe. So upgrading to those meta guns, those meta armors, that is really important. Do that as fast as possible and you will improve your survival rate. It is simple mathematics. The next thing I want to talk about is understanding what to loot and where to loot it. What are you looking for in the raid? What items do you need? Do you need quest items? Are you going for those really high value items that are worth loads of money? Are you trying to make money? It depends, okay? So you need to understand where to loot these items. For example, if you are looking for a LEDX, there is no use looking for a LEDX on customs. The chance of a LEDX on customs are slim, 0.1% or something stupid like that. I personally have never seen a LEDX on customs. I think the only chance, the opportunity to get one is in one of those med boxes. You might be able to get one in the stash, I am unsure. However, you're very unlikely to get a LEDX on customs, so why would you go to customs looking for a LEDX? That makes no sense. Go to Shoreline. Shoreline, okay, you don't know the map too well, or you have a fear or aren't capable of or comfortable fighting resort. No worries, run Shoreline at night time. You're less likely to run into players. A lot of things. You can do a lot of things and change a lot of things, aspects, to give you the advantage in Tarkov, to give you the ability to loot. For example, one of my best loot runs is nighttime. Well, the best loot run for me is nighttime Shoreline. I run nighttime Shoreline. I go in there, I rarely find players. I find cultists and Sanitar more than I find players. So you know the spawn rates for them, so that's pretty mad. I can't stress enough understanding what to loot, where to loot it. So if you stop picking up absolute shite, worthless shite. It is not worth it. Things that weigh a lot that are worth no rubles, just forget about it. You know, figure out what's worth money, what's worth picking up, what's not worth picking up, where you're going to find these items. There's certain rooms, there's certain buildings that I completely overlook, that I skip when looting on every single map, because I know the loot in there is garbage. It's not worth picking up. So learn the maps, understand how that works, understand what loot, like I say, you need to be picking up, what loot you should be picking up, what loot's worth what, where you're going to make your money from. And next I want to hit on that point that kind of ties in is understanding what works for you, how you make money in Tarkov. Everyone is different, whether it's stash running, whether it is PvP. Maybe you are very good at PvP. Maybe night raids. You've got to understand what is comfortable for you, what works for you, understand and utilize that. Even if people laugh at you, even if people say, oh, stash running, oh, you're a rat, this, that, no one cares. At the end of the day, what matters is you are having fun. You are doing what you enjoy doing, and you are making money. Because if I get the question asked so many times to me every single week, how do you make rubles? I'm on 800k, I'm on 700k, I'm on 1 million rubles. How have you got 30, 40 million rubles? How does that work? Well, it's simple. I do what works for me. I don't care about what other people think of me, what other people think or say about me. I don't care. I do what works for me, and it works. You know, I have no issues with rubles. I will never have issues with rubles when it comes to Tarkov, because I know how to farm rubles. I can farm 20 million rubles in a day, and that will do me comfortably for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's just, it's just understanding what works for you. So try different things out. Try running Shoreline nighttime. Try running customs nighttime. Try running lighthouse runs. I have tons of guides. I have safe route guides on my YouTube channel. On the YouTube channel. I don't know, you're watching this on YouTube, so you should know. We've got a playlist where I've highlighted 5 maps. It is customs, lighthouse, shoreline, woods, and interchange. These are the 5 maps I suggest running, because they are basically very easy to go through, safe routes without encountering PvP, to avoid PvP, stuff like that. It's very crucial that these maps are played. When it comes to factory is too small for this. Labs is obviously labs. You got the mega chads on labs. So loot labs is a complicated beast. However, and then what else we got? We got reserve. So reserve is another map that I wouldn't suggest. It's not safe. It's a difficult map. The extractions are difficult. I would not suggest for a new player or a less experienced player to go into reserve, only when you need to because of quests. That is the only reason you should be going to reserve. Yes, there is money to be made on reserve. If you enjoy reserve, if you understand reserve, that is great. However, I wouldn't say it's a safe and easy map to play. I'd say it's one of the harder maps for less experienced players, just because the extractions, like I said, you require Red Rebel. If you haven't got rubles, you haven't got a Red Rebel, then you've got to go down to D2. Is it D2? I believe it's called D2, which is a maze down there. And if you don't understand the map properly, then you're probably not going to find your way out. That's all these things. And yeah, a lot of chads go there. The scab boss is quite hard. He's got 7 guards. So it's all these things that you need to take into consideration when thinking about where to go, what to do. Like I said, there are plenty of guides on YouTube, not just my guides, but other guides where there are routes that you can take through maps to loot efficiently, not encounter as many players, stuff like that. So I do want to stress understanding what works for you, figuring out how you play best, how you enjoy yourself the most, and how you personally make rubles. Because like I said, for everyone it is different, and that is something you really need to focus on. The last and final tip is probably going to be one of the most important tips in my opinion, and that is accepting and learning from your own mistakes. You know, back in the day when I used to play League of Legends, I used to record my gameplay. I used to watch it back after a loss or a win, regardless, and I used to pick out my mistakes, analyze them, understand what I did wrong, and learn from that essentially. And that works in Tarkov too. And I feel like the biggest part of that is accepting yourself that you have made a mistake. No one plays perfectly. The top streamers in the world, the best players in the world, they are not playing every situation perfectly. Yes, they are more experienced. Yes, they're probably going to have more understanding of how to, you know, play certain situations. However, they're not going to play every situation perfectly. And this is really, really, really important that you understand that you are not going to play every situation perfectly. Far from it. So it is important to understand that instead of blaming the game, blaming a glitch, blaming an in-game mechanic, whatever, just stop caring. Stop caring about deaths. Having that gear fear, having that, you know, oh my god, should I take in this gear? Just stop caring about dying. It doesn't matter. Understand what you did wrong in that situation. Think about, okay, what could I have done differently? What could I have done differently that may or may not have worked out? But if I'd have tried it differently, you know, this was my mistake. Pinpoint the mistake. Recording your own gameplay and watching it back is nothing to be ashamed about. I used to do it all the time. I still do it now. Obviously, I have every single thing on Twitch, and I have fallen into the trap of saying, you know, I've said it myself on stream. You know, what the hell, camping, this, that, blaming something that essentially I could have played better myself. I could have done something different. And oftentimes on my stream, you will say, or you will see me saying, GG, you know, I should have done this, I should have done this, I should have done this. And it's not saying it would have worked out if I'd have done these things. It's just saying, you know, it could have possibly been a better outcome. So understanding what you did wrong, if you peaked at a wrong angle, if you pushed at a wrong time, all these things, understanding these things, where you went wrong, and then improving on that and not doing that in the future, that is going to help you out as well. So if you understand, accept, if you just accept the fact that maybe you're not the best player in the world, now that is going to help you improve as well. I mean it in the nicest and best of ways. You know, I would love to sit there and analyze gameplay from you guys and say, okay, maybe you should look at this, maybe you did this wrong. You know, I myself have done this to myself for countless hours, sat there and analysed my own gameplay, what I did wrong, and even then, I still make mistakes. So it is really important that you just try your best to improve on these mistakes, try and analyse, because a lot of people are going to learn faster than me, they're going to improve faster than me. I'm not the best player in the world, I'm not going to lie, I'm not the best player, and I accept that. And I accept my mistakes that I make, and I accept my deaths, and I don't get salty about it, wound up. You know, I just let it go, move on, go into the next raid, and hope that the next raid I don't make that same mistake. That is really important. Accept, understand, learn from your own mistakes, and with that you will make money. And all these tips, put all these tips together, and I promise you, you will make money. You will make money. Like I said, money is not an issue in Tarkov. It never will be, and it never should be. If you do the right things, if you concentrate on the right things, if you stop copying the streamers, trying to go for clips, go for plays, if you just stop caring about your own gameplay or deaths, you know, who cares if you die? You die. It's not the end of the world, right? And if you add all these things up, put them together, I promise you, you will start making money when it comes to Escape from Tarkov. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, then make sure to leave a like, or you found it helpful in any way or whatever, then make sure to leave a like, as it helps with the YouTube algorithm. It also helps me a ton. It makes my day. Don't forget to, if you've got any questions, feel free to ask. I will always answer. Make sure to hit that subscribe button for future content. We've got loads of content coming out. It is fucking awesome. And yeah, with that, I hope you guys have a nice day, and peace out.